on the comments on our social media. And if you've missed any aspect of the show, then you can listen back to the whole thing at purewestradio.com/catch up. Well, you can watch back on some of the videos. We've just been talking to Ben Field. Fraser, that job sounds mammoth.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a heck of a lot of clubs to engage with in Wales. Like we consider rugby nation. Football is very much the most participated sport. That has been the case for a long while, certainly at grassroots level. So yeah, it's a lot of work, but then I do a lot of work if I've got to go to Qatar for free as well.
Yeah, you wouldn't mind when the perks are a free ticket every now and then, would you?
I wouldn't mind the odd trip to see a football club down the motorway. So.
Yeah, you wouldn't mind that at all. We're going to step away from football. We're going to start off looking at the indoor cricket. Of course, you caught up with Sean Hannon earlier on in the show. You can listen back to that at purewestradio.com on the catch-up. The firsts are off on that pathway to Lords. And the Division 2 have got their finals day happening right now.
That's right. Finals night, actually. The club's going for a promotion on the title. Burton, Criselli and Pembroke involved in that. So, yeah, we've got an update here, actually. Burton 118 for 4 against Criselli. Criselli chased that down to win the first game. So, Criselli now play Pembroke. Essentially, Criselli will win it if they win this game. They've set Pembroke 113 to win. They finish 112 for 5. So, it's going to be interesting. If Pembroke win that, then, of course, they'll have the chance to win the overall thing if they beat Burton. If Burton win it, then you got run rate and everything coming into it.
Oh, gosh. A little bit of maths.
I'd rather one of them just won both games, to be honest. But, yeah, no, it's done well. Patrick Hannon done a great job on that this year. And finals night's a good idea. It's an exciting climax.
Yeah. And Sean talking there about the benefits.
Pembroke B as well, should mention, of course.
Yeah.
This is Pembroke B team.
Sean mentioning just how it keeps the skills sharp in the summer months. So
and teams have gotten on to that now, Tom, and not enough did before. It was only Nayland committing to it. We've just had a long chat with Ben about facilities. I think that helps in cricket as well. We've got this new facility in Nayland. It's an attractive hall. People want to use it. People want to see it. And it's really improved the indoor setup in Pembrokeshire, so it's good. It's
great. I've just seen it go from strength to strength since my involvement in Pembrokeshire sport. It's been wonderful. Looking again at the national game, Six Nations opening weekend. I don't think that we could have asked for a more exciting and enticing weekend of sport.
Absolutely not. Ireland superb in France, mechanical, so good. France, you have to say, were disappointing from the levels we've seen. Obviously missing Antoine Dupont, a better player for him, but player for them, sorry. But Ireland brilliant, so efficient, so confident now, and really did put them to the sword, and that sets them up for what you think should be a big chance now of back-to-back Grand Slams when you look at their fixtures. Italy as well, improving as an attacking force. Same old Italy, but in a different way. Start well, drop off, and end up coming up short and don't actually win it. But at least now they're doing it whilst playing attractive and entertaining rugby and scoring tries.
Wasn't it beautiful?
They used to try and maul and kick you to death. So that was an entertaining game. Enjoyed that one too. Very new-look England side. They'll be a bit vulnerable, but they know what they're doing. See Borthwick. Start of a cycle there, a lot of new caps, and Wales, Scotland just defied belief, isn't it? And I'll be honest with you, it's one of those situations. I'd become so low in my expectation, so almost emotionally unattached to it. I'm ashamed to say that I watched that and I couldn't even be bothered afterwards to analyse the finer points of the game or where it went right or wrong. I just thought, do you know what? I was entertained.
Yeah.
It was exciting. I was entertained.
It was fantastic.
If you paid a lot for a ticket, which so many did, you could say that game was worth it. So, unless you left at half time, which I think a few people might
have done. But, better off watching it in a pub.
But yeah, look, they'll take a great sense of momentum, a great sense of belief from that. It was awful in the first half. The kicking game was poor. Weren't in it at all, but really did up tempo in the second half. I'd say Thomas Williams, scrum half, has to start in the next game.
He has to. The pace that he injects into every play, teams just can't catch up with him.
Yeah,
and substitutes from half time, not often seen unless it's for injury. They made the difference.
Absolutely, and Aaron Wainwright as well. We should mention him, outstanding in that game. But you're right. The substitutions did inject something into it. And they've got a driving line out going. That's always a good weapon. And Scotland will be disappointed as well, mind you. It doesn't matter who you're playing international level. You can't be 27-0 up at that point in the second half and capitulate in the manner they did. So it's thrilling and great as Wales were to come back. I think it also told us that Scotland, for all the small improvements we keep talking about under Gregor Townsend, they're not quite there yet.
Not quite.
They won't win this title.
which is such a shame. There's been that small improvement every season, and they're still not quite getting it. No. And I did think that we were going to haunt them like we did when we came back in that fixture of 2014.
That's right.
But it wasn't to be. But so close. But
that's up now. Obviously, for this Saturday, we go to Twickenham, and that'll be interesting. But like I said, both sides new look, both with new caps. I think both have done the right thing. Yeah. It will mean defeats, short-term pain, long-term gain, whatever. But England very much untried and untested as well. So it'll be an interesting game at Twickenham.
It's going to be, because the starting lineup's going to definitely have to change for Wales.
100%.
100%. It just didn't work.
No, it didn't. Like I say, Thomas Williams will have to come in. Tactics will have to change as well.
Yeah. And Kelmsey Matthias was on the bench.
Yes. Yeah.
So they hopefully will he'll be back in the picking.
Sure, be great for him to start it. Yeah, it'll be an amazing experience for him, and he's done very well.
He has. You weren't here last Monday, and Gordon backed France, and he said that you would back France as well. I explained that I think that Ireland are arrogant enough to go away and think, no, we're going to squash you at your own game. I think who's left?
I mean, you're absolutely right. That's the belief that Ireland side had now. They're not phased by going to Paris and playing France, which is incredible, really. And so many people thought it would be between France and Ireland, and the home factor would tip that game and ultimately the championship. It should be Ireland from here. I can't see anyone beating them as long as they retain focus, which they will do, which has to be an amazing achievement. No team's done back-to-back Grand Slams, of course. Ever since Six Nations formed in 2000, and Ireland, you sense have got a great chance to do it now. You don't expect them to have any problem beating Italy, although Italy can play, and then the fixtures really are favourable for them. So I would expect them to do it. But obviously, the news overshadowed all rugby, wouldn't it, by the death of the king, Barry John, who we talked about JPR, and sad, obviously, so sad, but also so nice just seeing the footage and reminding us of what a great player he was in a different era. And remains synonymous with the legends of British rugby. The only one went on that 1971 tour to New Zealand with the Lions and was influential in winning it. And the great names from that tour stood the test of time, and he's certainly one of them.
Yeah, and we explained before we started the show, he's always the understated one. You don't see him wheeled out at many. You didn't see him wheeled out at many events. He's quite understated.
Yeah, Barry John retired at the age of 27, Tom. A lot of people forget about that. He could have given so much more, and actually would have been fascinating because Phil Bennett then came along and a brilliant Welsh career himself, but had the two of them be competing for the jersey in a day where you didn't have replacements and substitutions, and you didn't hand out caps like confetti. It would have been interesting to see how that panned out. But that's the one. So I think when you look at his rugby career, I mean, it was a different time then. He left at 27, 28 to become a full-time journalist, and couldn't be bothered with the pressures of playing a game he wasn't paid for. So there is one aspect that maybe the world never really got to saw the best of Barry John, but what they did see was magnificent.
And what a way to end the show here this evening. Although I've just been reminded, Gina knows or knew Barry John's wife because she used to do the ironing.
Well, funnily enough, when in Cardiff University, I played a couple of games for a local club, Cardiff Harlequins, and his son actually played for them.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he wasn't as good as Barry.
I don't think anyone was as good as Barry. You mentioned there the nickname, the King, of course, sending our well wishes to our actual King as well after his diagnosis. More on that tomorrow during the daytime. I'm back on breakfast at 6 a.m. But right now, a big thanks to Fraser for your time here this evening. We'll do it again next week. We've got Danny, Steve and Dan. It's a 2-hour takeover. A bit earlier than usual, but it's February, the month of love, and they've got your requests all lined up. It's been the Pure West Sports Show with Eaton-Evans and Morris Solicitors. Have a great sporting week, and we'll be back next week.
See you Monday.